Erwin, good to have you here. Clearly, there's a lot of excitement and a lot of shorts being squeezed in your stock right now. But that is a question. Why would this time be different? We've seen this before. The House has gone after it, and there's no real path to getting passed in the Senate. Do you think this is going to be different?
So good afternoon, Sarah, and good to be here. Listen, I think the interesting thing is over the last day or so, over 1 billion shares have traded between all the cannabis stocks out there. The sentiment is, investors want this to legalize. And I think the big thing is if you step back for a second, whether it's the MORE Act, the Safe Bank Act, or full legalization, lawmakers got to get the message. This is what constituents want. This is what consumers want. And why it's good for the economy, why it's good out there. The Canadian market, which is now legalized for 3 years, it's contributed over $18 billion of taxes, over 150,000 jobs, $6 billion in infrastructure. So with that, consumers, constituents want that. Lawmakers got to listen to their constituents. And I think whether one of these act passes, that's what's important. And I think it says Congress, Senate, you got to get your act together here.
Well, you mentioned the SAFE Act. Some people say that that's maybe more likely, this idea that banks will be allowed to do business with you and other marijuana companies, which is currently not legal. How far does that go, do you think, to opening things up?
I think that, gets passed, and I think hopefully that gets passed. And then what it does, it brings in institutional shareholders, it allows interstate commerce among banks, and allows us, to start trading among all the different states. In regards to, the MORE Act, decriminalization, and I think a big thing here is the whole social justice part of this. Listen, the best thing, Sarah, would be, full legalization here. That would be the best thing. If you come back and look at it, 91% of consumers want medical cannabis to be legal. 62% want it, from a standpoint of adult use. So it's something everybody wants. And if you come back and look at the size of the business out there, by 2030 expects to be a $100 billion business. If it didn't legalize, it would be half that. So I'm not sure why, and with all the regulation in place, why this shouldn't happen. It's basically being held up by, Congress, being held up by Senate.
Are you lobbying? Do you have any friends in the Senate? Who should we be watching?
Well, I think everybody is lobbying. Everybody's out there trying to get their messaging across here, and I think it's important. But I think the thing is this here, there's real good reasons why this should pass. There's real good reasons from an economic, there's real good reasons from a social standpoint, there's real good reasons just for different states. And if you come back and look what cannabis legalization has done for California, what it's done for Colorado, what it's done to create jobs, and that's what's important here. And again, don't step back for a second. I think the whole social justice part of this and come back in the education part of this is so important. And listen, there is a big medical opportunity here from a research development here in regards to opioids and the cannabinoids out there. So there are just so many aspects of this that's good to get some bills passed here.